Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news all about some car break-ins in Durham. Police are investigating after nearly 20 were reported overnight. The damage behind and what we are trying to learn from investigators this morning.
Teens yesterday morning, 60s for some as we head toward Thursday afternoon. What's behind this temperature turnaround and if it holds on through Christmas Day? Coming up.
And town manager resigns. The allegations that the mayor of Cary is calling disturbing as the town council looks for a replacement. We have that and so much more to get you started on your chilly Tuesday morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Ken Smith. Great to have you back.
I'm back. My flight got canceled. I was in New York over the weekend and we got about 6 inches of snow on Sunday.
Yeah.
And nope. Flight did not go out on Sunday night, so I had to call in.
Gotcha. No snow here, but we're still holding on to some cold temperatures. Meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Weather Center tracking it all.
Yeah, we had teens yesterday and absolutely no snow, so kind of jealous of New York. But here we are, 6th coldest December on record so far, the coldest since the year 2010. Our temperature has been 6.1 degrees below average. Out the door this morning, it's not the teens. We'll take it. Temperatures about 26 to 30 degrees in and around the Triangle with Clayton at 28. That's also the case in Chapel Hill this morning. Hour by hour, we'll take you to midday. The lunch break temperatures in the low to mid 40s, highs upper 40s this afternoon. And then shortly after sunset, we'll see temperatures in the 30s if you plan to check out some Christmas light displays. So we're in the process of getting rid of that Arctic air, and then we're going to pull a complete 180 with some warmer than average weather. You see that in all the oranges. We'll talk about what's causing that and how long we get it. Coming up, Ken.
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, real trouble spot in these northbound lanes of US 1, right there at Highway 55 there in Apex. Really and truly, if you're in a rush this morning, you're listening to us on the radio, Highway 55 might be your best bet, Williams Road. Right now, you're looking at a 16-minute delay coming in from Apex. So keep that in mind in terms of an alternate route. The 10-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest and US 1. The other trouble spot this morning is the southern loop of the Beltline, which is the usual congestion we see this time of the morning. The I-40 westbound lanes moving away from us right now. So the sensors are picking up a 5-minute delay on that southern loop of the Beltline. No delays if you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County this morning between Highway 36 and the Beltline. And if you're heading to Durham with the Wade Avenue, it's delay-free as well. So going into Durham, here's what we're looking at. If you're headed that way, very little to no delays. If you're using Highway 98 to come in from Wake Forest this morning, you're looking at a 4-minute delay. And we're seeing a little bit of a jam up on I-885 heading north into Durham. So keep that in mind. You might want to get off on Davis Drive if you're coming west on I-40. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thank you, Ken. Breaking news, police in Durham are investigating a series of car break-ins this morning. Ali Calabar is live in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker for us this morning. Ali, you've been to several neighborhoods and have found more than a dozen cars that were broken into.
Michelle, we counted at least 18 vehicles that were broken into within a 1-mile radius of where I'm standing right now. This is NC 55 and Sedgwick Road. This is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker showing some of the vehicles we saw. You can see at least one window shattered in each of them. Durham police tell us the break-ins started around 8 last night in the southern part of Durham. Then others were reported after midnight in East and South Durham. Police told us that 3 of the locations that they responded to, so we drove around those areas. We found at least 12 vehicles broken into at Bentley Ridge Apartments, at least 5 in a townhome neighborhood on or around Purdue Drive, and at least 1 on Piperwood Court. Now, we're working to find out just how many cars were broken into. Just this morning, a resident in a nearby complex reached out to us saying that these car break-ins have been happening for a while now. So we are working to find out some more information on this. We're keeping you updated throughout the day. Reporting live in Durham, Ali Cadlabar, WRAL News.
And Raleigh police are looking for the driver of a truck that crashed into trees and caught fire. This happened on Wade Avenue near I-40 and Trenton Road. Investigators say the truck drove off the road and crashed into trees before catching fire. The driver of the truck was not with the vehicle when officers arrived there around 12:30 this morning. Raleigh firefighters put out that fire. WRAL News is working to find out if the driver has been found, if they are facing any charges, and if they are injured.
Cary is now in search of a new town manager. Sean Stiegel announced his resignation from the role after weeks of questions over misuse of taxpayer dollars. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey live outside Cary Town Hall this morning. Cary, the mayor is calling these accusations disturbing.
Yes, Ken, this morning we're staying on top of all of the new developments that are happening here inside Cary Town Hall. We told you about how the former town manager, Sean Stiegel, resigned over the weekend, and now the mayor says his decisions were disturbing and have affected millions of taxpayer dollars. Here's what's new. The town hired a law firm to investigate Stiegel's actions. They're also rewriting policy to ensure no future town manager can avoid telling the full council about major financial moves. Plus, there's a chance the state auditor's office could investigate the town's finances. Stiegel was first placed on paid leave in November after a public records request revealed a series of major expenses much of town council, including the mayor, say they weren't aware of. That includes thousands of dollars spent on stays at four-star hotels, $1.3 million lost to fraud, and a more than $1 million series of land deals. Stiegel is receiving a nearly $200,000 severance package. We reached out to the mayor about that. He says it's contractual. We also reached out to Stiegel several times, including at his home, his personal email, and over the phone. So far, he has not responded to us. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
Happening today, the Wake County School Board is expected to talk about rebuilding a historic Raleigh school, despite many alumni saying they are not for it. WRAL's Laura Levine is live at the Wake County School headquarters in Cary for us this morning. Laura, the board says Ligon Middle School is in serious need of repairs.
And today, Michelle, school leaders will really weigh the pros and cons regarding this proposal. We know that Ligon was Raleigh's first black and only black high school, I should say, for nearly 20 years before it merged into Wake County Public School System. The school is now 72 years old, and leaders say it needs repairs and updates. Today, the school system will present 3 options to the school board, including 2 that would totally rebuild the school. WRAL's Education Insider says this has received some pushback. In a community meeting, many Ligon alumni said they don't want the school to be rebuilt or moved to the back of the property.
This school has a historic history where in the city of Raleigh it was a black-only school, and it became a part of the Wake County school system, became a magnet school, and they really wanted to preserve a lot of that history.
So the options would cost from anywhere between $100 and $140 million. Of course, we're going to cover the conversations that lead up to this afternoon. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Cary.
New this morning, a development in North Carolina's 2026 U.S. Senate race that you'll see first on WRAL. Former Governor Roy Cooper says if he's elected, he'll vote in favor of banning federal officials from buying and selling individual stocks. Stock trading is popular among members of both political parties in Congress, but studies show broad public opposition to that practice. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, a Democrat, has often come under scrutiny for her well-timed trades, and former U.S. Senator Richard Burr, a Republican from here in North Carolina, was investigated but never charged on allegations of insider trading. Well, later today, Cooper plans to publicly announce his support for a ban on stock trading by members of Congress, the president, and other top officials.
It leads to corruption, and it has to stop. To regain trust in Washington, public servants can't just say, "Trust me." They have to show they can be trusted.
We're reaching out to other candidates for next year's U.S. Senate race for their stance on this issue. Check our story in the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com.
Happening today, prosecutors are expected to consider formal murder charges for Nick Reiner in the death of his parents, director-actor Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer Reiner. Nick Reiner has been booked into jail in L.A. on suspicion of murder. His bail is set at $4 million. Rob and Michelle Reiner were found dead at their home on Sunday with what sources say were stab wounds. Rob was 78. His wife, Michelle, was 68.
In less than a half hour, we'll get a closer look at the state of the job market in the federal government. The Bureau of Labor Statistics will release the October payroll report and the November jobs report. Those reports will be released around 8:30 this morning.
Coming up, next steps. The Nash County Sheriff's Office looking into a decades-old missing persons case, where the investigation stands after recently discovering the man's car.
And stolen wheels. Several thefts have been reported up and down highways in our area. The explanation from one woman who says she had her tires stolen from off her car.
And although it's not as cold as yesterday morning, you'll need the thick jacket, maybe the hat and gloves as well. I'll show you why we'll be trading that for t-shirts pretty soon coming up.
And here are your winning Powerball numbers: 23, 35, 59, 63, 68. The Powerball is 2. The multiplier is 4. No jackpot winner last night. Tomorrow's drawing climbs to $1.25 billion.
8:13 on your Tuesday morning, and we'll start out with a live look at Zebulon here. Mostly sunny, just a few high-level clouds overhead. No harm, no foul with those. In fact, a pretty nice warming trend for today. It's gradual as we see temperatures in the low to mid 40s at lunchtime, upper 40s for highs around 3 or 4 p.m. And as we head into the evening, temperatures dip back into the 30s. Looking ahead to Thursday, some parts of the area from the Triangle eastward have the potential to hit the 60s, whereas we'll be socked in with more cloud cover and cool air farther to the west. But this all with a boundary lifting north to keep things pretty warm. And we're trending mild as we get closer to Christmas Day, so as is usually the case, a white Christmas not happening this time around. We'll show you the latest trends and data toward the holiday season coming up. Ken?
All right, Chris, we're staying on top of that congestion that we're seeing. It's beginning to ease just a little bit on those northbound lanes of US 1 around Highway 55. So listen, if you're getting ready to head out the door, US 1 is part of your morning commute. You usually take Highway 55. I will stay on Highway 55, get over to 64, and then work your way back to US 1, because right now you're looking at a 16-minute delay, a 10-minute delay for our friends in Wake Forest if you're coming in on US 1 South.
Right now in the WRAL Live Center, new video has emerged that shows an elderly couple trying to stop and disarm one of the gunmen in the Bondi Beach attack. Let me play that dash cam video for you. It was shared on social media and verified by NBC News. It shows a man and a woman wrestling with and ultimately disarming a man on the side of the road. Let me show you a still image from that video. The couple has been identified by family members. The man in the lilac shirt is Boris Gurman, and that's Sophia Gurman. They were ultimately killed in the attack by another shooter. It's the latest act of heroism to emerge from this attack that killed 16 people and injured dozens of others.
And back here at home, later today, the Nash County Sheriff's Office will be returning to the area where a car connected to a decades-old missing persons case was found. Travis Lynch disappeared on Christmas Eve 2003. Last week, his 1992 Pontiac was found submerged in water near Old Middlesex Road and Turkey Creek. The Nash County Sheriff says teams plan to dredge the creek today, and investigators have already started interviewing people connected to the case. And Raleigh police are investigating after reports of abandoned cars along their highways are losing their wheels. WRAL's Heidi Kirk saw several cars just miles apart on I-40 missing wheels. We spoke with a woman who left her car near the airport Thursday because of a mechanical issue. When she came back 36 hours later, her wheels were gone.
I mean, I thought, sure, there's a possibility that it could get clipped in an accident or a tractor trailer or something, or someone not paying attention driving, possibly striking it, but it never would have occurred to me that the tires would be in jeopardy.
Raleigh police are investigating multiple instances where wheels were stolen. The Wake County Sheriff's Office is also investigating at least one report warning people not to leave their cars on the side of the road, if at all possible. And we've investigated this trend after a tip from a viewer. If you have a story to tell, you see breaking news or take pictures or video of inclement weather near you, we want to see it. Go to WRAL.com/reported to send your video or pictures to WRAL.
The U.S. military confirming 3 more boat strikes in the Eastern Pacific linked to terrorist organizations. 8 people were killed in these most recent strikes in international waters. Officials say the vessels were actively engaging in drug smuggling operations at the time of the strikes. 95 people have been killed as part of the ongoing operations aimed at targeting suspected drug traffickers.
Nearly a dozen North Carolina firefighters are recovering this morning after being hurt in a gas explosion. This happened at a house fire in Salisbury yesterday. Firefighters were trying to put out the flames when a gas line exploded, causing the roof to collapse. 11 firefighters were taken to the hospital. Fortunately, officials say their injuries are not life-threatening. The Salisbury fire chief is calling them heroes.
If there's a danger, we're going to go get them, even sometimes at some risk. And that's what tonight proved, right? That your firefighters in Salisbury are heroic in my eyes.
Officials are still trying to figure out what caused the fire and the explosion.
Happening today, the Salvation Army beginning to give out thousands of gifts to families needing a little extra help this holiday season. This is all part of the organization's Angel Tree program. The goal is to make sure 8,000 kids in our area have gifts to open on Christmas morning.
I think that there are a lot of different situations for the people that we see. And I just know, all I know is that parents want to make sure that they, try their best to provide food and pay bills that they need to pay before they get Christmas gifts.
The Salvation Army of Wake County says it has received a record number of angels this year. The distribution will last through Thursday. That will be at the Angel Tree Warehouse on Buck Jones Road in Cary, starting around 9 o'clock this morning and running until 5 this evening. Well, today the Acorn for WRAL's first night rally is getting ready for New Year's Eve. This morning, city crews will be moving the famous Acorn from City Plaza so that it can be polished for the big night. We're just a little over 2 weeks away from welcoming in 2026. Where's 2025 gone, right? The fun starts with the early Acorn drop at 7 p.m. And then the traditional midnight drop as well. You can watch all of those festivities on WRAL as well as WRAL.com. Happening tonight in Cary, the town of Cary will be marking the third night of Hanukkah. There will be a menorah lighting at downtown Cary Park. There will also be activities for children, sweet treats, and holiday music. That will happen tonight at 5:30 to 6:30.
It was the hire no one saw coming, Bill Belichick to UNC. The coach in Carolina, in the Belichick Way, our WRAL documentary unit uncovers the parallel searches happening at the time. There was a powerful group pushing to hire the NFL legend and those who wanted an up-and-coming coach.
The Board of Trustees is working to land Bill Belichick, while Bubba Cunningham is doing due diligence on these lots of current coaches.
If this were a business, if this is a Fortune 500 company, you would never run it this way. You would never have people doing like a back channel search to hire the CEO.
The documentary gets into the drama off and on the field and what next season may bring. Coach in Carolina, the Belichick Way airs Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. That's going to be awesome. Looking forward to that. All right, here in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with meteorologist Chris Michaels. 24-hour temperature change. I think we're going to notice temperatures a little warmer today.
A little bit, yeah. Still need the jacket, but yesterday we were at rock bottom, right? We started out with temperatures in the teens. Now we're in the 20s, but hey, that's good enough to be 6 to 13 degrees higher than you were walking out the door at this point yesterday morning. So yes, still need a jacket. As you're heading toward the lunch break, temperatures are in the low to mid 40s. And then high temperatures today, a good 10 to 12 degrees higher than yesterday in the upper 40s. So as we go throughout the next few days, we'll notice that warming trend. Tomorrow afternoon, more of a mix of clouds and sunshine, highs mid 50s. By Thursday, we see highs near or above 60 degrees from the triangle eastward. You're cooler to the west. Few scattered showers Thursday afternoon. More widespread rain moves in Thursday night into early Friday morning. And I've got 60 degrees as the high temperature Friday. Probably happens earlier in the morning with temperatures dropping a little bit heading into the afternoon. But there's no big temperature drop between now and Christmas Day. In fact, as we head toward Christmas Day, high pressure over the southern U.S. What that means sinking air. As the air sinks, it gets warmer and it gets drier. So we're looking at a pretty pleasant Christmas holiday forecast. It's just you're not going to get the white Christmas, right? And it's pretty rare that you get one anyways. In fact, 87% of our snow comes after Christmas Day here in central North Carolina. So let's bring it back to the present day. Temperatures in the 40s today, upper 20s tomorrow morning, but 50s by the afternoon. There you see that warm up Thursday and Friday. A little bit of a dip in our temperatures. Saturday morning will be chilly with a low near 30, then highs in the 50s. Winter officially begins Sunday morning, but you wouldn't know by the afternoon as high temperatures make it back into the low 60s. We'll give you a very early preview at what temperatures may be for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day in the next half hour. Ken?
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're looking at Highway 55 proper right there in Apex. Many of you using this as an alternate route because of the slowdowns I've been telling you about on US 1 and those northbound lanes right there at Highway 55. So things are definitely getting better. You're just looking at a 7-minute delay. So good on you using Highway 55 as an alternate route. Right now, you're looking at a 9-minute delay if you're coming in from Apex, from Wake Forest, I should say. The southern loop of the Beltline, I-40 Lake Wheeler Road, boy, those westbound lanes really bumper-to-bumper traffic this morning. So if you're stuck in that traffic, here's what you're looking at in terms of delays this morning. You're looking at just a 3-minute delay at this hour.
All right, thank you, Ken. Holiday baking. 5 on Your Side has some of the top tested kitchen helpers as you get your holiday meals ready. And social media in school. Wake County Schools considering new rules to make it harder to access for students.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. It's chilly out there now, but meteorologist Chris Michaels explains we will feel warmer today compared to yesterday.
Definitely, yeah. And already right now, it's not quite as cold as yesterday morning, but still in need of a jacket with Fayetteville at 24 degrees, Rocky Mount 27, Raleigh, Durham, South Hill, Goldsboro at 29 so far. So as you head out the door, that's what you can expect. Then by midday, temperatures in the low to mid 40s. And as Michelle was saying, your Tuesday afternoon about 10 to 12 degrees warmer than yesterday afternoon with high temperatures in the upper 40s. Over on Fox 50, I'll show you why the 60s become fairly common between now and Christmas.
Big fan of soup for lunch. You've convinced me. Hey, let's go outside. Give you a live look at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. Those are the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. Really heavy congestion that we see this time of the morning, but as jammed up as that looks, you're only looking at a 2-minute delay on that southern loop of the Beltline. No delays whatsoever if you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County between Highway 36 and the Beltline. If you're using Wade Avenue to head west this morning, just a 1-minute delay. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, I should say, on Fox 50, an update on your morning commute.
Ken, Durham police are investigating nearly 20 car break-ins overnight. At least 12 broken into at Brentley Ridge Apartments off NC 55. At least 5 in a townhome neighborhood in or around Purdue Court, and at least 1 on Piperwood Court. We are working to find out if anyone has been arrested. And Raleigh police are looking for the driver of a truck that crashed into trees and caught fire. This happened on Wade Avenue near I-40 and Trenton Road. WRAL is working to find out if the driver has been found, if they are facing any charges, or if they are hurt. Next on Fox 50, Cary looking for a new town manager after the previous one announced his resignation.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your #1 source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Break-ins overnight. At least 18 cars targeted across several Durham neighborhoods. What police are finding this morning.
We start out with jacket weather once again this morning, but the Arctic air retreating. I'll show you when that happens and why we see more 60s in the forecast between now and Christmas Day.
And leadership shakeup. Cary names a new interim manager after weeks of scrutiny over spending. We'll explain the changes and the questions ahead. There are a lot of questions we are still working to get for you. We'll have that story coming up. Thank you for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Ken Smith. Yeah, it's a nice sunny day, but don't be fooled by the sun.
Freezing out there.
Cold out there. Let's get over to meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, tracking it all for us.
Temperatures in the 20s this morning, but it was a nice sunrise earlier today. Want to give a shout out to Cammie out of Knightdale for getting a great shot of that. Had a few friends sending me some pictures as well. You need something like that to get you woken up on a Tuesday morning and on what's been the 6th coolest December so far on record. Coldest December since 2010, but we're about to flip the script, especially as we go later in the week. This morning, Fuquay and Clayton, you're at 28 degrees. Holly Springs and Raleigh, you're at 29 degrees. Knightdale and Rollsville, you're at 30 degrees, so all of us pretty much feeling the same. And as we head toward midday, low to mid 40s with highs in the upper 40s this afternoon. But warming trend on the way. We're going to give you an extended outlook as to how things may feel the closer we get to Christmas. Ken?
All right, Chris, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. That southern loop of the Beltline still really jammed up this morning. I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. You can see the usual congestion we see this time of the morning. So if that's part of your morning commute, you know, it's really only like a 3-minute delay, but even though it's moving at a slow, steady clip, so to speak. No delays if you're coming from Garner, Johnston County between Highway 36 and the Beltline. Just a 1-minute delay if you're coming in this morning if you're using Wade Avenue to get to westbound lanes. Hey, if you want to take that northern loop of the Beltline, I-440 and New Bern Avenue, you can see those westbound lanes coming toward us this morning. Again, similarly to the southbound section of the Beltline, you're looking at an 8-minute delay. So keep that in mind if you're about to head out, because right now, once you get past Capitol Boulevard, it's really clear sailing all the way over to Wade Avenue at this point. As we widen out the view for you, here's what we're looking at. You're looking at an 8-minute delay because we're still seeing some congestion on US 1 North around Highway 55. So keep that in mind. 8 minutes if you're coming in from Wake Forest this morning. Getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Breaking news, police in Durham are investigating after a series of car break-ins early this morning. Ali Calabar is live in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Ali, you have found more than a dozen cars broken into in several different neighborhoods.
At least 18, Michelle, is what we've counted in a 1-mile radius of where I'm standing right now. This is NC 55 and Sedgwick Road. We're going to get right to this video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker showing you what we saw. You can see at least one window shattered in each of those vehicles broken into. Durham police tell us the break-in started around 8 last night in the southern part. Others were reported after midnight in East and South Durham. Now, police told us 3 of the locations they responded to, so we drove through those areas. We found at least 12 vehicles broken into at Bentley Ridge Apartments, at least 5 in a townhome neighborhood on or around Purdue Drive, and at least 1 on Piperwood Court. Now, we're working to find out how many cars in total were broken into overnight. This isn't the first time we've reported about car break-ins so far this month in Durham. We're keeping you updated, and we have reached out to Durham police to find out if any arrests have been made. Reporting live in Durham, Ali Calabar, WRAL News.
And Raleigh police are looking for the driver of a truck that crashed into trees and caught fire. This happened on Wade Avenue near I-40 and Trenton Road. Investigators say the truck drove off the road and crashed into trees before catching fire. The driver of the truck was not with the vehicle when officers got there around 12:30 this morning. Raleigh firefighters put out the fire. We are working to find out if the driver has been found, if they are facing any charges, or if they were hurt.
And Kerry, a new interim town manager steps in after the former manager agreed to step down during ongoing spending questions. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains how the town is looking to change its policies, but could face further scrutiny.
Today, we're staying on top of all of the new developments here out of Cary Town Hall. The former town manager, Sean Stiegel, resigned over the weekend, and now the mayor says his decisions were disturbing and affected millions of taxpayer dollars. Here's what's new. The town hired a law firm to investigate Stiegel's actions. They're also rewriting policy to ensure no future town manager can avoid telling the full council about major financial moves. Plus, there's a chance the state auditor's office could investigate the town's finances. Stiegel was first placed on paid leave in November after a public records request revealed a series of major expenses much of town council, including the mayor, say they weren't aware of. That includes thousands of dollars spent on stays at 4-star hotels, $1.3 million lost to fraud, and a more than $1 million series of land deals. Stiegel is receiving a nearly $200,000 severance package. Now, we reached out to the mayor about this. He says that's contractual. We also reached out to Stiegel multiple times, including over the phone, his personal email, and even at his home. So far, he has not responded to us. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Cary.
Happening today, Wake school leaders are set to vote on policy changes on student tech use, including social media and hotspots. WRAL's Laura Levine explains the stricter rules your student may have to follow.
Today, Wake County Public School leaders will take a look at some of these policy changes that would prohibit the use of social media, Wi-Fi, as well as hotspots without permission on school campuses. Now, social media websites are largely already blocked on the district's network, but the changes in the policy are together intended to prevent students from circumventing that. It will also help the district comply with new state requirements. WRAL's education insider Emily Walkenhorst says as for now, the policy doesn't contain information on how that would be enforced.
This policy doesn't spell out anything as far as, exactly how it would be enforced, how schools, teachers, principals would go about, making sure students don't actually access this. But there are some other things in place that can kind of help toward that goal.
The school board will have to vote twice in order to enact this policy. The first vote happening tonight, the second would happen at a later date unless the school board decides to change its rules today. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Cary.
And today, the Wake County school system also set to discuss rebuilding a historic Raleigh school, though many alumni have said they are opposed to that. Ligon was Raleigh's only black high school for nearly 20 years and later merged into the Wake school system. The school is now 72 years old, and leaders say it needs repairs and updates. Today, the school system will present 3 options to the school board, including 2 that would totally rebuild the school. Many Ligon Middle School alumni say they don't want the school to be rebuilt or moved to the back of the property. The options would cost anywhere from about $100 million to $140 million.
Rob Reiner's son, Nick, has been arrested in connection with the deaths of his parents. The case against Nick Reiner will be turned over to the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office today. Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle, were found dead in their home on Sunday by the couple's daughter. A source says Nick Reiner was seen fighting with his father at a holiday party the night before. It's up to the DA to decide if charges will be filed. Now, Rob Reiner's work included directing When Harry Met Sally, The Princess Bride, and A Few Good Men. Well, the search is on for the person behind a deadly mass shooting near Brown University in Rhode Island. The FBI and Providence Police releasing new images of a person of interest. Police say the photos were taken about 2 hours before the shooting near campus. 2 people were killed and 9 others were hurt Saturday. Now, during a press conference, President Trump talked about the delay in finding the person responsible for that shooting.
This was a school problem. They had their own guards, they had their own police, they had their own everything, but you'd have to ask that question really to the school, not to the FBI. We came in after the fact, and the FBI will do a good job.
Authorities have not released the victims' names, but WRAL has learned a Durham Academy graduate was critically injured in that shooting. The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to an arrest.
President Donald Trump plans to visit Rocky Mount on Friday. The White House says he's speaking at the Rocky Mount Event Center at 6 p.m. Rocky Mount is in the 1st Congressional District, which was recently redrawn. It has long been represented by Democrats, including currently by Congressman Don Davis. North Carolina is also home to what is expected to be one of the most expensive Senate races in the nation next year. Governor Josh Stein says the DMV is making progress when it comes to customer service improvements. Nearly 80,000 people have been able to use the expanded online services since October. That's when the governor signed the mini budget into law. It loosened DMV rules, allowing more people to renew online. The DMV continues to work on improvements after an audit showed the agency is understaffed, overworked, and underfunded.
NC State's quest for a national championship men's soccer came to a heartbreaking end in Cary last night. The Wolfpack playing the Washington Huskies last night in the final of the College Cup at Wake Met Soccer Park. Wolfpack fans braved the cold to watch the team compete for its first national title. Washington scored in overtime to secure a 3-2 win. Wolfpack fans say, though, they're proud of how their team played.
The culture that has been built here at NC State by Mark Hubbard, by the team, by all of us showing up in, like you said, 30-degree weather. It's just going to be a really great way to solidify that culture that we've built.
You see that kid without a shirt, 30-degree weather? Well, fans say the energy in the stadium was electric.
Oh, very brave with no shirt, but they should be so proud of what they have achieved. Well, new this morning, the Powerball jackpot is now $1.25 billion after another drawing without a grand prize winner. Ken, I thought I had this one. Really? The numbers in last night's drawing: 23, 35, 59, 63, and 68. The Powerball was 2. The next drawing will be tomorrow night. You can watch it here on WRAL just before our 11 o'clock news. Well, bake smarter. The right tools could save you time and a holiday headache. 5 on Your Side reveals Consumer Reports' top kitchen helpers before you start baking.
Heading to break, I want to take you outside, give you a live look at the WRAL Tower Cam. Of course, that's the tallest Christmas tree in the Triangle area. Meteorologist Chris Michaels breaking down the forecast between now and Christmas.
.45 now. We'll take it back a little bit to the sunrise this morning. Really put on a show in Johnston County. Thanks to Christina for a great shot there out of Selma. Now the sun has risen, going to work on our temperatures there in North Hills, and we're starting to see them rise little by little. Roxborough's at 32, Garner and Goldsboro at 30 degrees. Still stuck in the upper 20s in Cary and in Holly Springs as we get rid of that little bit of cloud cover. And as we do so, temperatures pretty much across the area pretty much the same. Temperatures will be in the upper 40s to near 50 this afternoon. A nice improvement to what we had out there yesterday. And if you plan on checking out some Christmas lights this evening, nice festive weather, good hot chocolate weather. Temperatures in the mid to upper 30s this evening. We'll take a look at Christmas itself and give you a very early preview as to what to expect. Ken?
All right, happening now at the WRAL Traffic Center. Keeping an eye on that southern loop of the Beltline, I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. You're seeing the westbound lanes moving away from us. And this is a usual congestion we see this time of the morning. But, as congested as that looked, you're only looking at a 4-minute delay on that southern loop of the Beltline. If you're using Wade Avenue to get to I-40 this morning, just a 2-minute delay. No delays if you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County, between Highway 36 and the Beltline. And have a look at some other drive times and some other major routes coming into Wade County in less than 10 minutes.
And breaking in the WRAL Live Center, the new jobs report just came out. We now know the state of the job market from October and November. Those economic reports from the government were delayed because of the long federal shutdown. So job growth totaled 64,000 in November. That was higher than expected. Unemployment rose to 4.6%. The Bureau of Labor Statistics also released an abbreviated October count that showed jobs down 105,000. U.S. futures are in the red right now, and we will see how the new economic data moves stocks when the market opens in 45 minutes.
Well, this morning, crews are investigating what caused a fire that burned a Fuquay Arena restaurant. Video from the scene shows flames burning through the morning hangar last night. That's a breakfast restaurant owned by Aviator Brewing Company. Authorities say the fire started in a storage area behind the kitchen. Sky 5 was over that scene. You can see right there. You can see the large response from Fuquay Arena and Holly Springs firefighters. Nicholas Doble, whose father owns Aviator Brewing, says they noticed the smoke and sprang into action.
We ran out with fire extinguishers, tried to pinpoint where it was, open up the doors, and we're getting facefuls of smoke and fire. And I mean, by then it was just too intense that we couldn't do anything but just stand back and watch.
Well, the good news is no one was hurt. No one was inside the restaurant at the time it was closed. The restaurant's owner says the building is probably a loss.
Durham City Council is pausing redevelopment for the old police headquarters. The building has been vacant for years. Plans to redevelop the site were scrapped over the summer because it got too expensive. City staff will now work with Preservation NC to preserve the Milton Small building. They will wait for the market to improve before moving forward with redevelopment. Well, the holiday baking season is in full swing. Before you plug in that mixer or preheat the toaster oven, Consumer Reports reveals its list of top tested kitchen helpers. Here's 5 on Your Side's Ashley Rowe.
Each year, Consumer Reports examines hundreds of baking and cooking appliances. Let's start with stand mixers. This wearing commercial mixer comes out on top, but costs more than $800. For a more budget-friendly version, consider this option from Hamilton Beach. For less intense mixing and whipping, it's a good hand mixer that gets the job done.
So hand mixers are ideal for whipping cream and egg whites and making cake batter and preparing sauces and gravies. Plus, if you're on a budget or you're short on space, they're less expensive and they're smaller.
CR handed the top spot to this Breville for its impressive whipping and mixing. For under $100, this KitchenAid hand mixer is also a great option. For an appliance that helps you prep and bake, a food processor is a must. For just under $200, this top-scoring Cuisinart Pro can chop, slice, shred, puree, and even mix certain types of dough. For small batch baking or when you need extra space, CR says don't forget about a toaster oven.
Consider the convection setting if there is one for the most evenly baked results. Also use the lowest rack to prevent burning.
A few more toaster oven baking tips from CR. Consider adjusting the baking temperature by about 25 degrees as toaster ovens tend to heat up and cook faster. Aluminum, cast iron, or non-stick are all great options for toaster oven bakeware. Just be sure it fits in your oven before you start baking. Ashley Rowe, 5 on your side.
That time of the morning where we look at what's trending.
Yes, that's right. The countdown is on to the finale of Stranger Things.
We failed. We never stood a chance.
This is not over. Not by a long shot.
Oh, the end of Stranger Things trending this morning. Netflix releasing a sneak peek of Volume 2 of Season 5. 3 new episodes will be released next week on Christmas Day, and the show's grand finale will be released New Year's Eve.
I cannot wait.
Oh my gosh.
Sebastian and I were glued to the TV for that last episode.
It's so popular.
It's so popular. It's so good. They keep you coming back for more. So I'm sad it's the final season, but I'm so excited for the next installment.
That's the mark of a great show.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, WRAL's annual Coats for the Children campaign is underway right now. Ken. Now through December 31st, we need your help to gather as many coats, hats, gloves, and scarves. Now through December 31st, we need your help. You can donate by dropping your stuff off at a Jiffy Lube location, or you can scan the code on your screen there. You can also go to WRAL.com/coats. Thank you very much. I needed Ken's help to scroll the prompter there, but here we go. All right, we are in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with Chris Michaels at Fountain Mountain.
Hey, Fountain Mountain. It was a molehill yesterday,
yes, but
and then it kept growing. Hey, that's it's one of the things that you have to get a little excited about. If it's going to be this cold, you got to find the victories where you can. Temperature in the upper 20s currently. As we head toward lunchtime, temps will be in the low to mid 40s, so we'll already make it above where we got yesterday, and that's a trend that will continue as we go into the afternoon today. High temperatures across the board between 47 in Roanoke Rapids and 50 in Fayetteville, with areas like Raleigh and Lewisburg at 49 degrees. Out the door tomorrow morning, clear sky, calm wind, same thing. Temperatures drop into the upper 20s for most of you. So we'll start out with the thick jacket, and then as we head into the afternoon, things will start to warm up a little bit more. A little more of that breeze out of the southwest pushes us into the 50s, even some 60s near and east of the triangle by Thursday afternoon. Thursday afternoon could see some scattered showers, but your most widespread rain comes in Thursday night into early Friday. But we don't see a huge cool down this time around. The wind up toward the north is really strong now, so it's going to bottle up that cold air and really keep it from coming in like it did over the past week or so. So in terms of a white Christmas, you got to keep dreaming. There you see that upper level wind is keeping the snow up toward the U.S.-Canada border and out toward the western mountains. Meanwhile, here at home, this is a very early look at what we could see as we get closer to Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Near to above average temperatures with some 50s and 60s. Those exact numbers are going to change because, well, that's 8 to 9 days away. So let's keep it to the next 7 days. 50s tomorrow, 60 the high in the triangle Thursday, cooler west and warmer to the east. Temperatures may drop a little bit as we head into Friday afternoon and Saturday. And then as winter officially begins Sunday morning, we look ahead to high temperatures in the 60s by the afternoon.
Thank you, Chris. Before we go to break, here are your winning lottery numbers. We'll get another check on weather and traffic next.